Welcome to part 2 of the keyword research module, where we're going to talk about how to choose the correct keywords. So if you remember back to the previous video, we walked you through the 7-step process, or at least up to step 5, which is check your existing rankings, identify 2 to 3 competitors, check those competitors' rankings, manually, optionally research additional keywords, and then clean that keywords list. At that point, you're going to have a big list of keywords similar to this that we can then go ahead and start utilizing. Now, one thing I kind of skipped over that I want to address real quickly is how exactly do you clean that list? And I talked about a few different ideas for you in that previous video. Just a couple more for you, just to help you overall with that. The first thing is that I want to just manually look at the keywords and just see what is the wrong type of intent. Now, we're going to talk about intent as we get further into this video, and you can definitely look at that, then reference back to this stage again. But basically, we're looking at keywords that don't match what we're trying to achieve. For example, if we have an e-commerce store, which I do have in one of these examples right here, and if any of these were to say, let's do add a filter here, and we'll do contain the word how to, right? So let's just do, contain your words, text contains how. And how to wear high tops is not a keyword we tend to rank in because we're focused again on what we call bottom of funnel, which is your product pages, your category pages, which is pages that directly drive revenue. So anything like how to, it is not the right intent. Now we're going to get further into this later on, but I just want to address a few quick examples like that. Another thing you can also do is you can look at, say, high positions. So say position greater than, position greater than, let's say 30. And obviously that's your weaker keywords. Now you may necessarily want to rank for these, but we could also do is add an additional filter, volume, and let's do less than 200. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at three competitors, and we're looking, are they ranking in position greater than 30 with a volume less than 200, which is just a low search volume keyword that they're not particularly ranking well for, in which case we may just want to remove these. Now, again, you change this based on what exactly you're trying to achieve. In this case, I can see that some of these like 30, 20, I definitely wouldn't want to put any effort into them. It just depends, but what you then do again is, as previously, you just go ahead and just delete those selected rows. Now we'll go ahead one more time and really quickly I clear this, and then I'll give you just a quick run through the keywords and just kind of explain the overall steps, okay? But essentially, I would just want to look through this and say, what is CRO? Do I want to rank for that? Well, possibly that is something relevant to what we do. Go Blogger, I have no idea what it is. Just go ahead and delete that. HVAC ad, again, we're not focused on that industry, let's delete that, and so on. We're just looking through which ones don't match. Now, ideally, this one's not that many keywords, so it's quite easy just to manually check, but when I'm working with clients, we'll have 30,000 keywords in here, and we can't manually check every single one, so we're more looking for patterns that we can search for to see if the text contains something like what and how and things like this to try and quickly eliminate as many keywords as we can that aren't a good fit. But essentially what it's going to give you is a big list, as you can see here, a big list of, what is this, 1,500 or so, 1,800 keywords that we can then move on to the next step, which is how exactly do we choose those keywords. So let's go through the steps together. So at this point, we have this big list of keywords. It's cleaned, but you're probably thinking, how do we use this? Well, let me walk you through the steps. The first step, which is now step 6 in this overall process, is to map keywords to pages. Now, let me explain. If you look at these 3 different keywords I've shown you here, best gaming chair for back pain, and best gaming chair 2021. And what you need to determine just looking at these keywords right here is which page do you rank them on? Meaning, do you have one page for all 3 of those pages? Or do you have 2 pages? Or is it 3 different pages? How do you determine that? That is what we call keyword mapping. Now, how you determine this is actually relatively simple, and all it involves is simply opening up the keywords and looking at the search results. So let me show you how that works. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Ahrefs Keyword Explorer. We're going to type in this keyword, which is best gaming chair for back pain, right? Best gaming chair for back pain. We're going to search this, and what I want to determine is there a specific page the competitors rank for back pain, or is it just the overall gaming chairs, best gaming chairs page? We can see here the #1 result is already best gaming chairs for back pain, specifically for this keyword, which by the way has 150 searches a month. Not much, but a little bit, right? Now scroll down a little bit. Best gaming chairs for back pain. Best gaming chairs for back pain. Best gaming chairs, PC Gamer. But one thing to note here is that this is a domain rating 56, which is pretty high, but it's not domain rating 82, which is a massive site. And what PC Gamer are doing isn't something that we'd necessarily want to do. Same thing applies for IGN. Again, massive site, domain rating 87. However, you go down to, say, this site here, the next one, healthandwellness.com, which is domain rating 28, much more in line with what a newish site can do. And you can see here they have one, again, focused more so on back pain specifically, not just an overall best gaming chair. The next one, 22, best gaming chair. Our gaming chair is good for your back. Same idea, is for back pain specifically. Amazon don't count. This next one is, again, just the overall best gaming chair, sorry, but this is again domain rating 86. And Accelerator, again, best gaming chair overall. But again, this is domain rating 90. So notice two things here. Number one is that I'm looking at what exactly are the pages they are ranking. And number two, I'm also taking into consideration what we call DR, which is domain rating, as explained in the previous video. And the reason I'm taking it into account is because while IGN, while PC Gamer are ranking one single page for both of these keywords, they're also a domain rating 80, 90. These are massive sites, so we can't necessarily replicate their strategy. However, by looking at these smaller sites, domain rating 1, domain rating 56, domain rating 28, we can mimic their strategy because it's working for smaller sites, and we can see, determine for this specific keyword, we'd want to rank for a best gaming chair for back pain page rather than the overall best gaming chairs page. Now, one more example, let's look at the third one here, which is Best Gaming Chair 2021. And I can already tell the answer to this just from intuition, but let's just search it just to show you again that same process. If we go up here and change this now to Best Gaming Chair 2021, and okay, that's just 2020 because it's obviously not updating for 2021 yet because it's relatively new. Scroll down to results one more time, and what are we going to see? Obviously, PC Gamer, IGN, everything like this, they're all big sites. The smallest one is Tech Guided here, and you see it's just best PC gaming chairs. Same idea once again, best gaming chairs. Pretty much every single one is best gaming chairs. What I can also determine within just seconds of looking at this is that if I had an affiliate site in this niche, I wouldn't even attempt to go for this keyword. I mean, there's one site here which manages to sneak in, which is a domain rating 53, but for the most part it's 80s, 82, 87, 92, 90, 82, 91. And we'll talk more about how to analyze the competition later, but that is essentially one big part of it. And what we're seeing anyway from the keyword mapping point of view is that it would just be, again, the best gaming chairs page. Now, I know that anyway, just looking at the keyword is kind of obvious, but it's just something to note. So going back to the slides again, here's the pages I would want to rank. Best gaming chair would be on a page for best gaming chair. Best gaming chair for back pain would be on a separate page for best gaming chair for back pain, and best gaming chair 2021 would be on the same page for best gaming chair. That is a short, simple example of how keyword mapping works, except that's just 3 keywords and not 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, and so on, which gets much more complicated. But if we were to put a definition behind this again, keyword mapping is the process of identifying the best page to target a keyword with. Now, if we're going to actually go through how to do this at more scale, then here's what we want to do. We want to use, again, our brain, our own intuition, our own knowledge of SEO, which is going to come, especially as you're doing this more. And then beyond that, you want to use a tool like, ideally, Keyword Cupid, which is just going to make this way easier rather than manually doing what I just did right there. So rather than wasting any time on theory, let me just show you how exactly this works. I prepared 3 different examples for you here. This is the one we did previously on the last video. Then we have another one for a gym wear e-commerce type site. And then we have another one for an affiliate site, best table saws, right? So for manual, it's really simple. You would simply just add another column in here right now, and you would just go through these keywords. Now what I can do immediately is delete all of them, because it's obvious. And you can basically just plan out, okay, what page would this be? So this is going to be a best affiliate programs / dogs, right? Or pets, right? Something like that, right? Now, you can just literally go through one by one, best domain appraisal, and so on manually. And this is going to take you forever because there are 1,839 unique keywords. So that is the first way of doing it if you want to do it manually. I just simply wouldn't recommend doing so. So what I use is this tool right here called Keyword Cupid, and what I've already done is gone ahead and prepared a report for each of these that are going to walk you through how exactly they look. But let me quickly show you how this works first. So Keyword Cupid uses machine learning to basically process that list of keywords and determine which pages are similar. Now, I'm not smart enough to know how exactly to do that, and I don't particularly care. I just like the end result of what they give me, which I'll show you in just a moment. But if you want to use Keyword Cupid, again, it's $50 a month for up to 5,000 keywords. And here's all you want to do. You want to create a new project first. I've created one called Course Examples, and then you go down to New Report, and you'd basically build your own report. So what you're going to do is select BYOD report, select a name for that report, whatever you want, select the data provider. Again, I'm using Ahrefs, but you can use SEMrush as well, which is great. And then I'm going to select organic keywords, which is we're downloading organic keywords lists from our competitors. Now, what you want to do at this point is select a report size. In this case, we already know like there's this many keywords, right? We already know there's 1,800 keywords. If you want to, you can set a limit of say 1,500 and have Keyword Cupid basically remove a few of the weakest keywords, or you can do every single one of them, just have like 1,800. In my case, I just did 500 because I just want quick examples, and why waste money on credits if I'm not going to actually use this data in any other way? Then you simply browse, select the file, and if you want to, you can also optionally change these settings here, like are you looking from a desktop device or not. You want to use a different search engine, and the overall location of the searches. You can also scroll down and add a target URL for on-page optimization recommendations also. Now, I'm not going to run this because I've already done it, but what it's going to give you at the end is going to give you these reports just like this. They're going to give you these crazy looking mind maps, which you can optionally use, but they're a little bit crazy and a little bit difficult for most people to understand how to use, but it is helpful if you kind of understand what's going on. But what is helpful is these Excel downloads that you can grab right here. So I'm going to go ahead right now and download each of these, and I can use them and show you how exactly we're going to use them in the next steps. Now, if I go ahead and open one of these, just an example, so you can see how exactly this looks, then you get an idea of what exactly this does for us, which is essentially that entire keyword mapping process. Okay, so you can see now that this is opened up, and here's how it looks. We have the overall silo of relevant pages, and then we have a page theme, which is basically a page, and then we have the keywords to target on that page. So this recommends we have a page about domain appraisal for GoDaddy, and then we have these keywords. Another one for domain name appraisal, and then we have these keywords, right? And what is my domain worth? We have a separate page with these keywords. And essentially, it just completes that whole mapping process for us, making this just significantly easier. Now, this report is by no means instant because it's actually analyzing all this data, so it takes several hours to run, but once it is done, you don't have to manually do all this work, and you can just sit back, wait, and it's going to give you an export of all of this data, just like you're looking at now. But they split this into big silos and small silos. You can see here, these are kind of smaller silos with less keywords. And you also have these different confidence scores. As you scroll down here, the confidence is lower, where, hey, they may not all be as good as 75% confidence. This is 83% confidence for the overall silo, and so on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually use this data, because at this point, this is great visually to look at. I can understand what's going on, but it's not very helpful for me to use it as an actual strategy, actual data. So let me show you how exactly we would use this data next. Now, to process all of this data, I'm going to use Google Sheets. So I've created a new Google Sheet here with a tab called Keyword Cupid. And what I need to do firstly is quickly unhide these tabs. There's some tabs here hidden. So I'm going to unhide all these columns, and I'm going to go grab all this content, copy it, and paste it into this sheet. And you can see it's going to look something like this when it actually processes all that data. There we go. You can see all this content is now in there, and you can see the additional columns that were added: theme confidence, keyword volume for each keyword, basically all this additional data. I'm going to scroll down right to the bottom here. If I can, scroll all the way down. Where are we? And I'm going to grab the next tab here, small silos. I'm going to repeat that same process again. Unhide those columns first, almost forgot. Unhide all columns, go across, copy down. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in next. And you see here that basically gives us a huge list of all the different mapping process that Keyword Cupid has done. So now that we have all this data in here, and I've also repeated that for 2 other examples as I downloaded from Keyword Cupid before, what I want to do is clean this data up so I can actually use it in formulas and different things like that. So what I'm going to do is I have a custom app script I use to do this, and you can just repeat the same process manually. So I'm going to click Clean Keyword Cupid, and what it's going to do is going to delete a bunch of columns for me and just clean up the overall text and content here, so I can actually use all of this data. You can see here the end result is something like this. You can see here I have Every single row has the page theme name and the confidence. We have the supporting keyword after that. We have the keyword volume, which I drag way too big there. We have the keyword difficulty and the CPC, which is the cost per click estimate for this keyword. Now, I'm going to do the same process for the other ones. Going to go to our agency name and click clean, and go to the other one and do the same thing also. So at this point, you can see here I have this keyword keeper data in here. It's cleaned up and actually usable now for each of those 3 examples. What we're going to do next is I'll go over to this mapping prep sheet here, and you can see here this is how we use all this data. So I need to do 2 things real quick. I need to quickly import the client rankings. This is currently empty. We have a SERP automatically pull in, which is basically if I open this up, say this one, a new tab, you can see here, it pulls in automatically a Google search with UK, because we predominantly do a lot of UK stuff currently, and then it has the keyword automatically filled in there, which is for intent stuff later. We recommend a page, so for each one of these, we manually put in what is the page we want to rank this page with. We have notes for optional stuff, and we have the volume, keyword difficulty, and CPC estimates in there also. And one thing we're also doing is we have a quick formula up here, which automatically recommends, based on easy keywords, what the intent is, which we'll get into later. But you can see here, for example, best domain appraisal, because it has the word best in it, then we put this automatically as customer investigation. This one, domain price estimate, because it has price in it, we automatically put customer investigation. Now, is it really? It depends, but just we automatically check on things like price and things like this. So if you scroll down, you'll probably see some more examples here. Best video format, what is the best video format? We put customer investigation. In fact, this is actually not customer investigation. This is probably informational, but it's just automatic based on those words. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not right. The other example here, one more example, you open up the mapping prep, you can see the exact same process again. You can see here reviews, so this is customer investigation, intent automatically set. Now don't worry about this, we are going to get into what intent is, we're going to go through that, but you can just see kind of how we're using that data. We have a list of all the page themes and keywords, same as Keyword Cupid, but we're going to manually use this then by comparing current rankings, current ranking pages, and then planning out which page we want to rank in. One more example here, again, here's all those keywords, and we can manually decide which page we're going to use. Now, I want to actually use this data, and if I start writing in here now, for example, you can see this, it will mess up the formulas, you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just copy basically into this other sheet I have called mapping. I'm just going to manually go ahead and copy that data into there, or I'm going to use a quick app script to do this, and shout out to David Kravitz and Ryan at the Blueprint Training, because this is where I really got a lot of these ideas from and inspiration for writing these types of scripts out. So I highly recommend the course, by the way, if you haven't got it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just click this snapshot in, and what it's going to do is it's going to manually just copy and paste that data essentially into this mapping sheet, and that allows me to customize it without messing up all those formulas and everything that we wrote in there, and then we can go ahead and actually start using this. Now in this case, all I'm going to do, you can see here we pull in automatically all this different information, so we have again the same as before. The data validation here is a little bit messed up, I'll fix that afterwards, but basically what we're going to do now is go through each of these and suggest a page. But what I'm going to do first, if you see this tab down here, it says current rankings, I'm going to go into this, it's currently empty, I'm going to go file, import, and I go ahead and import my current rankings. So this is exported from Ahrefs, and it basically is going to add that to that sheet so we can then compare the data. So to do that, I'm going to go file, import, and I'm going to scroll through this list, and you'll see here, whichever one it is, line0.com, I think this example is, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace data with selected cell. Again, I'm already selecting A1 here. Now that's going to automatically update this, and it's going to go to the mapping prep, and this should, most of these are probably NA, but you can see here some of them, okay, there's Upwork keywords here, so you can see here we have a page already ranking for these. It's going to show you the position, and then it's going to show you the page that is currently ranking. Now at this point, that makes it a lot easier when we're suggesting a page, because you already see there's a page currently ranking. It may not be the correct page, but at least it's going to give us an indicator for some of these where we have this page. You can see here ranking rent, we already have a page ranking for page 1. This is probably the correct page because it's already ranking pretty well. So that is just the initial steps. Let me actually pull this up for the other examples and show you how you do this. Alright, so now we have this completed for 3 different examples, as you can see here, and I've just picked random sites as example clients just to see how this would all work. And what you would want to do at this point is basically you want to scroll through all these, and I like to start with basically ones where we're ranking very well already. For example, here we're already ranking somewhere, so we at least have a page for it. It just makes it significantly easier. So what we can do here is we can manually open up the Google search results if we want to and double check which pages competitors are ranking, or we can just literally go ahead and suggest a page. You can see here this one automatically pulls up the Google search results with a link, so you can open that, or I can already see that this is already ranking with a page here. So I'm just going to grab this URL and go ahead and paste it in there. And because we've used Keyword Cupid before, we can see there's 100% confidence that all of these keywords here are basically the same page. So we can double check this, obviously use our intuition, but I'm pretty confident that this is correct. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. You can see here that you have cancel Upwork account, which would probably be a separate page. So if I wanted to, I could just go ahead and cancel Upwork, right? So I have a new page here, cancel Upwork account, and spell that completely wrong apparently. There we go, and it's, repeat that same thing. I'm just going to drag that down. These links are really annoying me getting in the way, and so on like that. Now let's scroll down and find a few other examples. For some reason we're ranking for Ahrefs affiliate program on their Amazon guide page. It doesn't make sense. So let's say we have a new one, suggested page, and I don't want to create a piece of content here, but just an example, Ahrefs affiliate program, and so on. Scroll down to see what else we're ranking for. Okay, these are all ranking rent, so this is great. So let's go ahead and just copy this. And I think, to be honest, while they recommend these as separate pages, you can see here, this is one theme ranking rent, another one rent websites to local businesses. We're already ranking position number 5 and 3 for these keywords, but it's on this one right here, which is just junk. Let's delete that row altogether. We don't need it. Then we can just go ahead and drag these all the way down, and it's going to be the same page for every single one of these. Same when renting a website, we're already ranking pretty well for this. So again, while Keyword Cupid recommend these as separate pages, I believe that they're honestly just one single page. And this is just the overall process here of mapping the pages. If we go to another example here, you can see here, okay, New Look Gym, and I presume that is a brand, New Look. So again, this is actually the wrong page. They're ranking the home page for this. This is not correct. So what I'd recommend for them is if I just grab this real quick and just go paste this in here, it's going to be /collections, and then they probably have a collection, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but if I actually knew the pages, it'd be easier. Then I normally have a data validation that kind of pops up and I just check them off, but basically if I select this down, then these are going to be New Look /New Look for the gym wear, right? Now another one they have, they're not ranking for this one. This one, gym clothes and rider wear. Again, this is not the same segment, so while they do think it's the same segment, it isn't. These can be on the homepage, it's probably perfectly fine. So I can literally just copy and paste that in there. But this rider wear one is not going to be the same. They probably have other keywords for that. I don't know. It's going to be a brand name, I'm presuming, without even knowing what it is. So I'm just going to delete it because it's not that important. We can check the search volume. It actually is pretty good keyword, so we'll probably separately do a different page for that later. So if I wanted to, again, I could do the same thing. It's probably going to be something similar to this, which is, and this is why it's just a combination of manual and automated using tools like this. So this is going to be rider wear, I think it was, I don't know, but just an example like that. And then you're going to scroll down, okay, what other pages do we have? Scrunch leggings, whatever that means, scrunch bum leggings. You have a page for this. You can see here, this is basically all the same. What I'd want to check here, I can see bum scrunch leggings, leggings bum. This is probably all the same page. You can already see it already ranking the same page, first page for all these. You have scrunch bum shorts as well, which Keyword Cupid says is the same page. I'd want to quickly verify that. So if I just quickly go and just firstly, let's drag this down already. So let's do the same for this, and then these stupid hyperlinks are really messing me up. 56, so one more here. Really getting in the way. I want to quickly verify this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this link. No, I'm not. I'm going to grab this link, new tab, go to Google, and just double check. Is this the same page or is this different? So you can see here, it's the same page because I just have one that says shorts and leggings. So Keyword Cupid in this case is correct. So I'm just going to grab these and drag this all the way down for every single one of these. So that whole thing is just one single page, as it should be. That's the idea behind Keyword Cupid. But we just want to verify it sometimes because you're not entirely sure. And you can do the same process for this one, but I won't do it again because you can basically see the idea how this works here. This random site that I picked up, you can see here that you have table saws that accept dado, I don't know what this is, blades. Then you could literally see this already ranking all these with the same page, and it's in position 20 is worst. 24 is the worst one, so this is probably okay just to copy that whole process. So that is essentially keyword mapping. We use Keyword Cupid to suggest things, and then we manually go ahead and choose what is the page we actually intend on ranking for this group, this page theme of keywords here. Now going back to the presentation, step 7 is to analyze the keywords and decide focal pages. If you remember back to the previous video, I introduced you to an idea called VRI, which is volume, relevance, intent, and that overlap is usually the perfect keyword for reaching our target audience. It's not necessarily the highest search volume, but it's that perfect match of volume, relevance, and intent. So what we do at this keyword analysis stage is really want to analyze a few different factors, and sometimes we can analyze all of them. It really depends on the data we have access to and the time we have available. If you have a smaller number of keywords, it's easier. When you have a lot of keywords, it becomes a lot more difficult to analyze a ton of different data points, right? So a few different things you want to look at are the current ranking. So where are you currently ranking for this keyword? For example, if you're in position, say 5 through 20, then you're already in a good position and you can probably quickly increase that. Whereas if you're in position 50, 60, well, hey, this can be quite difficult. Same thing, if you're not ranking whatsoever, you don't have a page for this, then hey, maybe let's come back to that because it's complicated to create a new page, right? You also have search volume. Obviously, search volume is great because it tells you, okay, there's 10,000 searches a month for this, but you also have to consider in certain cases, there's like an image pack, there's a video pack, and there's different things that take up the search results, so it doesn't necessarily get that many clicks. So you want to consider also the clicks or the traffic that those keywords get. You also have the buyer intent, which is how likely is someone to make a purchase after searching for this keyword. And then also the keyword intent, as in does your page match what people are looking for when they search for this keyword. And then you also have the competition, which is very important, which is do you have the resources to compete and to rank for this actual keyword? Because in many cases, we looked at some previously where it was like PC Gamer, IGN, and pages that just dominated in the first page. Well, you simply don't. You don't have the resources to compete against that, so don't even waste any time trying. So let me go through these step by step. The first thing obviously is your current rankings. Where are you currently ranking? If you remember, in the first step of this process, we mentioned check your existing rankings. Well, what we do, this is the end result here, but what we can see here is that for this page, we can see the main, as in the biggest keyword, is Upwork agency profile. Again, based on that data we did, it's not really correct, but you can see from a quick inspection, it came out, this is the best keyword, the volume is this, and our client or our own website is currently ranking in position number 20. We set this when we imported the current rankings list. We did this for every single one of these pages, right? Every single one of these websites. You can see here, Jim Ware, we picked as another client as an example. Then you automatically pulled in the current rankings. You can see here, based on them, the main keyword is New Look Gym for this page, and it has a 30 volume, and is position number 17. This one, Jim Ware, 9,600 searches a month, position number 8. We pull in that data to allow us to analyze this and say, hey, this one is looking pretty good, you know, just by looking at those two factors immediately, I can see we're in position number 8 and there's 9,600 searches per month. And then moving on to the other factors, you can also look at things like search volume and clicks. Now, I'm not personally looking at the number of clicks in this sheet currently, but I am doing something pretty similar, is that I'm pulling in the cost per click. And what that basically determines for me, because I'm doing a lot of e-commerce SEO these days, is that if it's a high cost per click, then it's a pretty high buyer intent. So it's a good, solid keyword. Based on the average cost per click for all these keywords, which is obviously just 2 here, then we can say that, and this search volume at 20,600 searches, then the estimated value, if every single one of these searches convert into a click, which they wouldn't, but just an example, then the estimated value here is $28,840, whereas this one here is only $405, this one here is $77.50, this one here is $801, right? We can do the same thing for the other sites here. This keyword here is worth $1,500 a month apparently, whereas this one here, ranking web websites, is apparently worth up to $8,600. Again, this isn't correct, but it's good for sorting out this data. You can see another example here. We pull in the table source review pages, and you can see here 6,500 because this search volume is this, and the cost per click you can see in the original data we had before, and so on and so forth. This allows us just to kind of sort and decide which keywords. We can also pull in, you can see the competitor rankings, which we'll get into in a moment. You can also pull in which position they're in, same for our own site, and then how much traffic we're getting in relation to the position that we're in. We can do all sorts of good stuff like this because all this data is already in there if we choose to use it in that way. Now moving on to intent, which is such a huge part of this, and we kind of skipped over it previously. You can see here that there's two types of intent you want to look at, which is buyer intent, which we kind of talked about already with the cost per click data, which is from ads, basically how much would it cost to run an ad and get a click and an ad for this keyword, which helps us to kind of determine, hey, the higher the cost per click, the more likely the buyer intent is higher. But beyond that, there is also keyword intent, which is what is the intention of someone searching this keyword. And if you remember back previously, when we're looking through this mapping sheet, you can see here we automatically recommended, hey, this one has ideas in it, so this is informational. So we did this automatically just as recommendations, just to save time. You can see if the other site, there's a few, actually doesn't seem to be any that automatically pulled up. We can see here, so review, these ones automatically did it. And then here, some more examples on the other side. So these are automatically pulling in, but this is basically to determine what is that search intent, what is that keyword intent. Now realistically, there are 4 types of keyword intent or search intent that you want to look at. There is informational, there is customer investigation, there is shopping, and there is local, which again, I'm not really into so much these days. Now if you were to break down examples of what words you want to look for in these cases, you'd have, say, informational, which is guide, how, why, when, what, examples, ideas, things that suggest they're looking for information. They're not looking to buy anything. They're not even looking to potentially buy in the future. They're just looking for information. Then you have, say, customer investigation, which is they're looking to buy, but not right now. So they're looking for what is the best microphone and looking for a review of the Zoom H6. Well, it's likely they want to buy it, but not yet, right? They're looking for information before, they're investigating for information before they make that purchase. Direct shopping related intent, which is, hey, they're looking for what is the cheapest podcasting microphone and where can I buy this product and what shops sell this, right? They're looking for deliberate shopping stuff. And you also see in a lot of cases for the e-commerce stuff that the intent is quite hard to tell sometimes here. We don't have many automatic recommendations here because if someone just searches for, say, Zoom H6, which is the audio recording thing I'm using right now, then they may be looking to buy it or they may be looking for reviews, right? Because they just searched the name, usually e-commerce stores will rank for those keywords because kind of the best keywords they have, but it's not as clear intent as if they search buy, which usually means you have to do a little bit of additional research just to double check, and sometimes, honestly, this changes over time. Now, this final one is going to be local businesses, which is like, you know, city, like if someone searches for plumbers in London, you can be sure they're looking for a plumber in London. If they search for local plumbing shops or city plumbing shops, something you can, I don't know if there is shops for plumbing, but we can tell that they're interested in buying something in a local shop. Or near me, another one, roofers near me, they're looking for a local roofing company. Now, it's absolutely imperative that you match your page with the correct search intent, because if you don't, you simply cannot rank. If every single page ranking is an e-commerce page selling the product and you're trying to rank a review page, you will not rank. If every single page is reviewing the products and you're an e-commerce store, you're trying to rank a product page or a product category page, again, you will not rank. You need to match the intent because Google have shown a preference for this type of page. So let me show you how this works in the real world by, again, opening up those examples. Okay, so we're back in the spreadsheet again here, and let's have a look. So we've got one here, so Amazon affiliate sites, or Amazon affiliate websites. So let's grab one of these. Let's go Amazon affiliate sites. I don't know what the search formula is. It's 400. This one here is bigger. This is website builder. It's probably not the right intent. So let's just do Amazon affiliate sites. Let's go over to Keyword Explorer, and you can use Google search as well. This is why we have the tab. So you can see here we literally have Google search links automatically pulling in those keywords, but let's just use Keyword Explorer because it's easier to show this without needing a VPN or anything like that to not skew the data. And what you see, we scroll down here, you see, okay, which types of pages are ranking here? So realistically, if you look at the actual pages ranking beyond this one right here, it's actually kind of informational, really. So this is informational because it's like a list of example sites. This is informational, Ahrefs again, they've got 2 pages ranking which look very, very similar, informational list, and so on. So realistically, this is actually informational. So we go back to this again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select that this is informational, right? And then you may want to check the other ones. And this one to the top SEO reviews, I don't know what it is. I want to delete it. I don't think it's relevant for what we're going for. Amazon affiliate sites for sale. This one is a little bit different, so this shouldn't realistically be on the same page because the intent is different. If I just go and grab this real quick and just show you. Amazon affiliate sites for sale. You can see here, this is like number 1 site is Flipper, right? Number 2 site is linking to sites that are for sale. This is for sale, this is for sale, right? So this is actually, this is correct. The intent that we recommended automatically is correct. This is pretty transactional, but it's a different page, right? So if this doesn't match what we're trying to do, let's just delete it, right? It's not something we're trying to rank for. Let's just go ahead and delete it. Amazon affiliate website, what is this? Let's try again one more time. Search number 1. Amazon affiliate website, again, Amazon ranked number 1, and it's the same keywords as previously. So again, this is the same thing. This is informational intent. And that's all it is just going through them and just determining what is the intent of this page. Now, these ones are all really, really simple. So let me just show you a different type of intent. Let's go to this one here, which is the gym wear website. And let's grab one of these keywords here. So let's do, okay, red high tops, whatever that is. Shoes, I think, right? I really should know this stuff. All right, so go paste this in there. Red high tops. Maybe it was space. Okay, red high tops has 600 searches a month. We're looking at the US here. It doesn't particularly matter. It's actually a UK site. It doesn't matter. Okay, so what is the intent here? What can we tell immediately? Amazon number 1, which is e-commerce. Zappos, which is Amazon again, e-commerce. This store, I can just look at the URL. You can see /en/US/category/red high top sneakers. I can tell, I don't even know what the site is. I can tell that's e-commerce. Obviously, Vans sell shoes, so that's e-commerce. eBay, e-commerce. This, again, look at it, /catalog/ this is obviously e-commerce again. Journeys.com/product/ this is e-commerce. Again, Foot Locker, e-commerce category. You can just tell by the URLs basically. And this again is e-commerce. So every single page ranking on that first page is an e-commerce store. So we know that the intent here, going back to this, is wherever it is transactional, as in they're looking to make a purchase. And we do the same process for basically every single one of them, because sometimes you'll find that you'll search something and it isn't actually the correct intent, right? So seamless leggings, let's try this one. This probably is the same, right? So go up to, again, paste in the keyword, scroll down, 2,400 searches a month. Is this one the correct intent? So you can see here immediately, I can already see before it even loads the step overview, Amazon, who, what, where. So, okay, here's a different one. So, okay, Amazon, buyer, transactional intent. Gymshark, transactional intent. Spanx, transactional intent. However, what we're going to see is position number 2, who, what, where, 24 best seamless leggings. That's not transactional intent, that's customer investigation intent. And this one here, Women's Health Mag, customer investigation, because 10 best seamless, right? And this one here, best yoga pants, right? So there's 2 things you can kind of do here. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult, right? So we can kind of count them out. I mean, you can say, okay, there's 1, 2, 3 of them that are kind of best type keywords, so customer investigation keywords, which is 3 out of 10, which means there's more overall that are this buyer transactional intent. You can also scroll up again, and this is why Ahrefs is great for doing this, not just Google search, is that you can also look at this thing here, and this looks crazy, right? It's just lines and this craziness, right? However, if you look at this, what we can determine is you can see kind of the history of the rankings, and what we can see here is this. Firstly, this who, what, where page has been ranking for a very, very long time. You can see here all the way back in 18th of February 2019, this who, what, where best seamless leggings page was ranking. However, over time, you can see a lot more e-commerce sites kind of come up, and if we just kind of scroll through this and trying to see what else is kind of changing over time. Obviously, this is only looking at the top 5. But what we can basically see is that over time, the who, what, where page actually used to rank better, and then the e-commerce pages, granted they're much bigger sites, I believe, it's still domain rating 80, I don't know the site, have kind of come up. So does this tell us anything? It means that the e-commerce stuff seems to be doing pretty well. You can see the upcoming like Gymshark and all these other types of e-commerce sites. So it gives us a good indicator that, hey, a type of like transactional like e-commerce type page could do pretty well for this keyword. And obviously it's only 3 out of 10 that are the review type keywords. So I'd be pretty happy to target this keyword if the competition is suited, which it probably doesn't, right? But just as an example how that works. And one more example just for the other side here. Again, same process again. Now these are all review type keywords. So you can see here, I can see here, used Hegner scroll saw for sale. I want to delete this. It's not a keyword we're looking to rank for whatsoever, but most of these you can see here reviews. So if I go ahead and grab one, Porter cable table saw review, let's do Porter cable scroll saw, right? Let's grab this one. This is the biggest search volume. It might not be the right keyword though. And the reason being is I scroll through this. What can we say just by looking at these top ranking pages again before this even loads? Is this is a forum, so this is interesting because this is the correct type of intent. However, number 1 is definitely for sale. This is transactional intent. Number 2 is transactional intent. Number 3 is informational, but a really, really big site, domain rating 88. As you can see here, this is the correct intent as a forum. This is Amazon for sale, this is for sale, this is for sale, for sale, for sale. So the vast majority on this page are transactional intent. However, if you go ahead and put in review at the end here, the search volume dramatically drops down to 100. However, you can see the keywords, actually they don't really particularly get much better. Like I said, we probably improve in terms of the overall quality. You can see here this one is a review. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog snoring in the background. This is customer reviews, but on Amazon. So this is probably a better keyword. You can also look at other keyword variations. I don't even know it was in the example, but like best. No, it's no search volume for that. But essentially, that's what it is going through and checking what the intent is for these. Now, optionally, you can do two things here. One, you can put here that this is transactional, or two, you could just delete the whole row because I know I'm not interested in targeting this keyword whatsoever. It doesn't particularly matter which one you decide to do. I tend to delete them if I absolutely will never focus on them just to keep that data clean. But that is how you determine intent. You open up pages, you open up Google Search or Ahrefs, and you look at the ranking pages, and you determine what is the most common type of page on here and which one is trending over time. So if all of it previously was informational, but now it's all transactional, well, hey, this is actually more of a transactional page. And really, this isn't something you determine one time and it's done forever. You need to kind of revisit this every couple months or every 3 months or so, just to double check that it's correctly in line, because again, this absolutely does change. Now, the final stage of this keyword analysis is figuring out what is the competition levels and can we actually compete for this keyword. However, unfortunately, we're all out of time on this video because it's just gone way too long and I don't want to drag it out any longer. So what we're going to do is split this off into a third part of the keyword research module. We're going to talk specifically about determining and analyzing which types of keywords to focus on first and analyzing the competition levels to figure out if you could actually compete. So that's all for this video. If you like this, please do me a favor, click the like button below. If I missed anything out and you want me to cover it in future training, leave a comment below and let me know. And aside from that, I will see you in my next video.